Grab a rolling pin for this functional and unique kitchen decoration. Take a page from a cookbook and cleanly slice to remove it. Spray both sides of the page lightly with water. Brush a strip of Mod Podge down the length of the rolling pin barrel and carefully attach the top edge of the cookbook page, smoothing to adhere. While rolling the barrel, continue applying more Mod Podge while gently attaching the page as you go. Trim any excess once the barrel is covered, then apply another layer of Mod Podge over the entire surface. Select the part of the page that you want to be most visible, then make 2 small marks on the underside of the barrel. Drill holes and screw in cup hooks. Attach wire, twine, or leather cording to both ends with enough slack to hang, and hang on a hook or nail on the wall. Your rolling pin is now ready to display.
So I picked up 2 different styles of placemats. So I chose this one, or actually Alex chose this one, and I chose the beige. This one's going to be a neutral everyday door hanger, so we're going to turn a placemat into a door hanger. I also have this little bit of leftover wire, and this is what we're going to use to create a hanger. So I showed you this jute, and this would work great for a hanger if you're deciding to use something like this, which doesn't have that texture. But by using this burlap placemat right here, this is going to work great because it already has all of this kind of rope right here, and all you have to do is just feed your wreath hook or your command strip right through it, and it's going to stay in place. So this is actually the preferred placemat to use, but now it's time to embellish this. So I picked up this little sign from Walmart as well. This was like $5.99 or so. A little bit pricey, but I like that it's already painted and textured. What we're going to do is just flip this over, and I'm going to use black pipe cleaners today so that they actually show up on camera. And there's already a little screw on the back of it from the hanger that they had in the store. And I'm just going to take that pipe cleaner and wrap it around just like that. And then on the other side, I'm going to use our staple gun. I know that the sign is safe enough to use 1/4-inch staples without the staple going through the front. And that's definitely something you should make sure, because once you damage the front, the sign's no good anymore. So we're just going to take it and staple it. And since this sign is so lightweight, 1 staple should do the trick. So I'm just going to take that pipe cleaner and feed it through the top. You could actually easily feed it through any placemat. It just takes a little bit more work than what we're doing here. So I definitely recommend a placemat like this. Feed it through on either side. Twist it nice and secure. Then you can flip it over. Twist it even more so. And the reason I like to twist it more is because I like it to actually be longer. That way I know that it's well wrapped, and then that way I can actually just take it and bend it right back into the jute placemat. Up next, we're going to take this Magnolia spray, and these are like $1.99, and what we're going to do is just take it, bend some of the leaves backwards, flip it over. Firstly, remove the tag. I'm the worst at doing that. Remove your tag, and then snip off the stem. So you don't need all of that stem length. What we have here is essentially a swag, and to secure this, I'm going to use a zip tie. So just feed your zip tie through, place your Magnolia on it, and then tighten it, nice and secure. So I typically like to work with greenery first, not always, but typically. So we're going to start with a little bit of this foliage, and it's not going to require too much glue because the jute holds, the hot glue perfectly. So if you're placing something with the jute, just know that it might be a little bit more difficult to remove than it would on like a plastic base because the jute holds that glue perfectly. So let's work in all of these leaves. Okay, so now we have a nice little bed of the ranunculus foliage. Now we can actually work in the blooms. So we'll take one and place it here. And another one will sit there. And our third one will sit there. Up next we have this ranunculus spray, and we have these in a bunch of different colors. I'm just going to actually pop off the heads instead of cutting them. And we don't need much of a stem length for this whatsoever. And I'll also remove that foliage so we can cover up the stem from the Magnolia and cover up that zip tie as well. So it really doesn't require a whole lot, and this project can be done for less than $10. So now let's glue these in place. So I have a little bit of leftover foliage, and we're actually going to use this to our advantage. I'm just going to snip into smaller clusters so we can distribute it a little bit better. And you could stop at whatever point. You know, one of the things that makes crafting and designing so much fun is that you can do it however you like, right? So if you don't like, this type of foliage I'm using, feel free to substitute it with whatever you have on hand, is what I recommend first, or whatever you like. So just taking a little bit of this is adding some finer texture because we have that broadleaf magnolia, and that's all that is necessary. So let's hang this design up and show you the finished reveal. And here is how it turned out. I absolutely love it. This cost us less than $10 to create, and I think it makes a great piece for a wall. It makes great door decor. And when you design, you guys, don't feel as though you have to spend a fortune. It doesn't have to be time-consuming. It doesn't have to be expensive, nor does it have to be intricate. Something like this costs less than 10 bucks. We have some magnolia, a few leftover pieces of greenery, some ranunculus, and a little sign that says home, all on top of a Walmart placemat. So I think this turned out so cute, and feel free to improvise or choose products that you have on hand or things that really scream you. That's what makes designing fun.
You will never want to throw away another wooden spoon again when you see these unique ideas you can make with them. Here's a fun way to honor a recipe card with memories attached. I'm placing 2 wooden spoons on the right and left side of the recipe card with the spoons facing in the opposite directions. Next, I'm placing 2 more spoons on the top and bottom, creating a frame. To join the spoons together, thin twine is being wrapped in a crisscross pattern to hold 2 spoons at a time together, then tied in a knot. To hang, after considering a couple of nails, I'm using heavy-duty tape instead to save my walls. I'm attaching small rolls of tape on the backs of the spoons and the recipe card, then attaching them to the wall. And the end result is a charming way to celebrate a special recipe with a perfectly themed picture frame. Next up is an easy and productive idea for your garden. I'm selecting 4 spoons, with the bonus being plastic this round for added longevity. Each spoon is getting penciled in with handwritten plant names to lay down how I'd like the words written. Now I'm going over the pencil with a fine-tipped permanent black Sharpie so the lettering really pops against the white spoons. Now I'm cutting some thin twine and twisting it around each spoon, ending in a bow for added interest. For an added decorative touch, I'm drawing tiny polka dots and crosses on 2 of the handles. The size of the spoons makes the script easy to read, and the plastic will help keep these labels in good shape for a long time to come. Here's a fun idea if your kitchen drawers are too full. I'm selecting some wooden spoons with flatter handles, although round can work as well. I'm gathering some random cup hooks with smaller screw heads. Using a small drill bit, I'm drilling into the penciled marks just enough to start a hole without going right through. Each cup hook is getting screwed into the pilot holes until secure. Now I'm selecting some kitchen utensils I wish to feature, then arranging and hanging them from the hooks as desired. You can use some twine or string to help hang objects as well. I'm placing each spoon onto a scrap piece of wood, then drilling 2 larger hanging holes right through the spoon. To mount to the wall, I'm holding the loaded spoons against the wall where desired, then screwing them to the wall. And the end result is a unique and beautifully themed way to display and hang your favorite kitchen utensils. The wooden spoons give off a kitchen-themed vibe while organizing your favorite utensils within easy reach. Next up is a unique way to help serve your favorite food and beverages. I'm selecting 2 scrap wood boards that are cut to the size of a wooden fork and spoon. To join the wood planks, brackets can be used. However, I'm using a Craig jig pocket hole maker, which creates an easy and pro way to join wood. Sliding the jig slider to my thickness of wood, 1 piece is being clamped into the jig with the pencil marks facing away from the drill. Moving the board to the pencil marks, I'm using the middle jig hole to drill 3 holes into the back of 1 board. Facing the boards good side down, the holes are being placed against the other board. I'm inserting screws into the deep angled pocket holes, then pumping the drill slowly until each screw is attached. The wooden fork and spoon are being positioned on each side of the boards, then being marked in pencil where I wish to drill holes. To assemble the handles, I'm inserting the screw through the spoon hole, then inserting a cut plastic straw to hide the exposed screw. To theme this project upright, I'm stenciling a cafe sign onto the middle of the tray using Fusion's Coal Black. To further camouflage the black screws, I'm taping around the screws, then painting those areas in black along with the straws. And I'm left with a perfectly themed serving tray that is ready to serve up my favorite treats or beverages. I love the play of the fork and spoon, which marries the stencil theme and function of this adorable tray.